Jack Smith, testifying before Congress against Donald Trump.
With respect to the charge of insurrection, we did not charge that, as I set forth in my report. Well, I believe that there is, courts have found that that was an insurrection and that there's a reasonable interpretation, a reasonable prosecutor could interpret the evidence to support that charge. I chose not to do that, looking at the facts and the law. I thought the charges we brought were appropriate, given the evidence that we had.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for your decades-long public service and for working tirelessly to uphold the rule of law. Those who, in order to protect Donald Trump, should be ashamed of themselves. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Smith, do you see criminals to my left? You don't see any. Do you see people who are committing crimes because they continue
is that big?
to believe things that
Brad?
just aren't true?
Yeah, look at him. Ooh,
That's
Oh,
paraphrasing Ronald Reagan. That
that's one of
liberals aren't
the
stupid,
ones
they
who
just know
attacked
things that don't
Sasha,
happen to be true.
allegedly.
If the president believed that he was cheated in an election, that there was fraud, or in some other way a number of items led to his defeat, when in fact he should have won according to the Constitution, does that make him a criminal?
Jim Jordan.
Sir,
No, that's a yes or no, please, Mr. Smith. These people here are continuing to grapple constantly with things that aren't true, like socialism works, or that somehow everything the Republicans do is evil
Where
and
is
everything they
Biggs?
do is right. They've never reached a conclusion in a typical partisan case in which we're not evil because we think something different.
Good morning.
And the Bill of Rights, that someone has the absolute right to believe something, whether it's true or not, and to advocate for something, whether it's true or not. Do you understand that in addition to your oath to the Constitution, that that's one of the things the First Amendment allows for, isn't it?
yes, sir.
Okay, so if you know that people have a right to opine, lobby for, assert, do everything they can legally to ask for people to make different decisions, then why is it you saw criminal conduct on behalf of a president who
Let
believed he
him
didn't win?
answer.
Chairman Jordan and myself have something in common, along with a number of others here. We saw wrongdoing, and on January 6th, we voted not to confirm 2 states because they had violated the U.S. Constitution in how they selected who got ballots. And yet, you're going to come here and say, oh, I just followed the law. When you went after these people and you said, well, technically I can do that, you didn't see any selective nature or any separation of powers under the Constitution to spying on the activities and the conversations of the Speaker of the House. To what end would conversations between the Speaker of the U.S. House, third or second in line to be the president, and the president, in what basis would it be any of your business other than you believe that there was a conspiracy without conspiracy as a basic premise? You, like the president's men, for political enemies. They were the enemies of the president, and you were their arm, weren't you?
No.
No. Oh, great. So you spied on the Speaker of the House and these other senators and so on, and informed no one, and in fact put in a gag order so they couldn't discover it. If they were not subjects of a conspiracy investigation, why did Congress, a separate branch that you, under the Constitution, have to respect, why is it that no one should be informed, including the judges? As you went in to spy on these people, did you mention that you were spying on seeking records so you could find out about when conversations occurred between the U.S. Speaker of the House and the president? Did you inform the judge, or did you hold that back?
My office didn't spy on anyone.
Wait a second. The question I asked you, Mr.
No, you
Smith,
implied
was
that
pretty
they.
straightforward.
Yeah.
Did you withhold that information from an Article 3 judge in the process of taking the records of the Speaker of the House?
No.
We complied with Department.
Did you hold back
Mr.
that
Chairman, would you
information?
please instruct the gentleman to allow the witness to answer the question?
It's not your time. I'd like my time back.
Mr. Chairman, you have
please.
repeatedly done that in the past. The witness has the right to answer the question.
And there'll be due time to answer the question. Would you please put my time back and let me finish this? Mr. Smith, I asked you a question and you were not responsive to it, and I want you to be responsive to it. Did you, whether you think it was legal or not, whether you think it was right or not, did you withhold the name of Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, when you were seeking records on Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, or Jim Jordan, the chairman of this committee?
At the time the gentleman is.
No,
You
please
got
give
a
me
few more
back the
seconds.
time that was taken away.
Time has expired, but we're going to let the witness answer your question because it's an important question. The witness can respond.
We did not provide that information to the judge when we requested a non-disclosure order, consistent with the law and consistent with Department.
Mr. Chairman, the amazing thing here today is that we have an admission that an article.
Mr. Chairman, the gentleman's time has
Come on.
expired by now 34 seconds.
It gets more than 5 minutes?
How many times you can interrupt me?
The time belongs to the gentleman from California, but it has expired.
I will be brief in my address to the
Oh,
chairman.
yeah, Jim Jordan.
We have the evidence
Yeah.
that an Article 1 representative on behalf of the
This is-
president withheld
order,
that
Mr.
Article
Chairman.
3.
Mr. Chairman, I read the
information.
the same leading to
And with that, I yield back in disgust of this witness.
Sticking with California, the gentlelady from California is now recognized. Gentlelady is recognized.
This is an order of the DC Circuit dated December 8th, 2023, in which the court recognizes that Donald Trump's statements about the judge and his case have led to threats against the judge, where callers labeled the judge and clerk, quote, Nazis, dirty Jews, and child molesters, and represent, quote,
Himself.
Mr. Trump's documented pattern of speech and its demonstrated real-time, real-world consequences pose a significant and imminent threat to the functioning of the criminal trial process in this case. End
Without
quote.
objection.
Thank you.
Wow.
Mr. Smith, country. My colleague from Virginia, a Republican colleague who was questioning you right before the break. Do you know what he said in the days after January 6th? Let me share this with you. This is a quote of his from a press release on January 8th. Congress stands united in our rejection of the violence that occurred this week, and I'll continue to urge the swift prosecution of those involved to the fullest extent of the law.
And Trump pardon.
Mr. Smith, this is theater. Republicans are trying to rewrite history.
Yes.
That's what this is. Many of them were with us in the House chamber on January 6th. I remember it well. The chairman was there, as was I. There's been a lot of discussion about witnesses today. Perhaps the chairman could muster the courage to call the 4 witnesses who I see. The American public may not see. I see, standing behind you, Mr. Smith, the 4 police officers who risked everything, life and limb, to do what? To protect the Republican members on the dais. It's an outrage that they now sit here and have the audacity to try to rewrite history in front of the very officers
Who
sacrificed
sacrificed.
everything to protect them.
Absolutely.
Mr. Smith, you're of course
Mind-blowing.
aware that President Trump was impeached for his conduct connected to January 6th, right?
Correct.
Do you know how many members of Congress voted to impeach him?
I don't recall.
232. Do you know how many Republican members of Congress voted to impeach him?
I don't recall.
10 Republican members of Congress voted to impeach him for his conduct related to January 6th, including at the time the sitting Republican chairwoman of their conference. There was a trial in the United States Senate. Senators sat as jurors. I remember it well because I was one of the prosecutors who prosecuted that case. Do you know how many senators voted to convict President Trump of high crimes and misdemeanors during that trial, Mr. Smith?
I don't recall.
57 senators. Do you know how many Republicans voted to convict him?
I don't recall.
7 Republican United States senators voted to convict President Trump of high crimes and misdemeanors. It was the most bipartisan vote for conviction of a president in the history of the republic. So, They can engage in as much histrionics as they want to try to rewrite history. But facts are facts. They talk about weaponization. They accuse you of weaponization of the justice system. While the Federal Reserve Board chairman rings the alarm about political retaliation by this Department of Justice. Mr. Smith, I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know if your counsel has made you aware. That President Trump is live tweeting, I guess you call it truth socialing, as we speak. Are you aware of this, about this hearing?
No.
Let me read to you what he posted an hour and a half ago. Deranged Jack Smith is being decimated before Congress. It was over when they discussed his past failures and unfair prosecutions. He destroyed many lives under the guise of legitimacy. Jack Smith is a deranged animal who shouldn't be allowed to practice law. If you're a Republican, his license would be taken away from him, and far worse. Hopefully the Attorney General is looking at what he's done. We have a word for this. It's called weaponization. It's
Facts.
called corruption. Mr. Smith, if you care to respond, I'll give you an opportunity, but I will simply say we are grateful for your service to this country.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your fidelity to the rule of law, and I would echo the comments that have been made by my Democratic colleagues to ignore the noise that you hear from so many of my colleagues who debase themselves in this way. It is, in my view, subversive of the oaths that we took to
Absolutely.
defend the Constitution.
For the
I'm happy to
people.
give you an opportunity, Mr. Smith, if you'd like to respond.
I don't have anything to add.
Thank you for your service. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman